All right, Joseph Brasher, Top Velocity Northwest. We're going to do a pitching analysis of Luke here on the left. I've been told he's been up to 72 miles an hour. And we have 90-mile-an-hour testimonial Colton Turner on the right here. So let's take Luke into his leg lift. And Colton into his leg lift. So as you can see, coming right into Luke's lift, he's really shifting down hard with the hips. So he's going in this direction. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So if our goal is to land a full stride with our hips somewhere down here, we don't want to take this route to the load. We want to take this route to the load. And this is what I commonly see with low velocity pitchers. They want to go down and then out. And it's really just not an effective way to move our hips because we're going to load and deflection hard here, but our force vector is still going to be pointed upwards. And then by the time we go out, our flexion is going to be used up. So the drive will be timed too early. You look at Colton Turner here coming into his lift, he's just shifting a little weight forward, but not too far down. And he's going to follow that path of forward and down at the same rate with his hips. If you look at Luke here, coming right out of that lift, he swings very hard, very aggressive with his front leg. So that's going to be a major problem. And it's really going to cause some disruptions in our delivery. So I would say that this leg lift is really not doing a lot of good and is probably doing even more damage. I would probably recommend going into a slide step at this point if we're pitching for mechanics improvement and velocity, because it's coming out of this lift. This leg is flying hard. This knee's starting to roll down. It's just causing all sorts of problems going into front foot strike. With Colton, he's really leading with the hips. The momentum is in the hips and the weight is on this back leg. The front leg is simply staying closed. And there's not a lot of momentum. There's not momentum in it pulling him off. We want to be driven off the rubber, not pulled off the rubber. And it looks like you're being pulled off with this front leg. So taking both these pitchers into front foot strike, that front leg really swings hard, and you might get a little bit of push here out of the back leg, but this front leg was so aggressive that any sort of push you got, it was not enough because you're getting pulled off so hard and your hips are staying closed. With Colton, because it has his weight back here, he doesn't have momentum in this front leg. When he opens, he's able to push, force, and drive with this back leg so that he opens these hips up. Right there, he has his shoulders closed, and he has a great amount of hip to shoulder separation there. With you, as you come into landing, one more frame, those hips open, the shoulders are right with it, and your arms actually sort of hyperangulating behind. And this is what I commonly see with front leg dominant deliveries, is because you have so much momentum in that front leg pulling you off, but it's not really helping you create power. To overcompensate, the arm has to make up for that in a small time frame. So right there, from hyperangulation to pushing, I really see the elbow sort of pushing out in front of the face. Not a lot of forward trunk tilt here. You do get a little bit of front leg extension at the end, but not enough to really make up for anything. With Colton Turner, his shoulders are completely closed, no hyperangulation, and then he extends that front leg and pushes that trunk in a linear direction. So if we measure the trunks here let's do it at pitch release. If we take this angle and then this angle, you're at 47 degrees at pitch release, and Colton is at, if you look at his trunk, 40 degrees. So we got about maybe closer to 10 degree difference. But if we look how much more his trunk is pushed out compared to yours, it's not really even comparable. So what do we want to do to help make these changes since you're only throwing in the low 70s right now? First off, we really need to calm down this front leg, maybe start throwing out of a slide step, then get into the 3X drills that require using this back leg, learning to keep your weight back, drive force from the ground, and then keep these shoulders closed, because your shoulders are really, coming in the front foot strike here, you're later cocking, but this glove side's already starting to pull. If you look at Colton Turner when he lands, this glove side is very passive. Now, the way to fix this is not by making our glove side more passive, but instead getting better at our lower half so the upper half doesn't feel like it has to compensate for that lost energy. So as you can see, Colton Turner's upper half is very relaxed at this point, and then through the kinetic chain, once the hips are done and then now the front leg extending and that power's heading up the chain, that's when he initiates his upper body. That's how we have to think about our delivery, as opposed to, well, now I'm at front foot strike, it's time to get my arm going. We need to sequence things correctly. So as you learn the drills, driving that back leg, getting force from the ground, and then learning to counter with your upper body, get some front leg extension, forward trunk tilt, and then learning out of this lift to really keep that front leg back. That's really going to make some dramatic improvements and really help your velocity. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you guys next time.